Join me in painting this delicate wildflower using watercolors. We will use the wet on wet technique to create a soft blurred background with a crisp foreground. This approach adds depth and ensures the main subject stands out beautifully. This is the reference image I used for this painting, and here is the sketch you will need to follow along. I start by wetting the entire paper except for the main flower in the foreground. The rest of the area, including the other four flowers at the background, is fully wet. I'm re-wetting the paper a couple of times to keep it moist for longer. For the best results, I recommend you to use at least 300 GSM 100% cotton watercolor paper. After wetting the paper, tilt the board to check for any excess water. If there is any, it will collect near the masking tape. Simply wipe it off with a cloth. Because we don't want pools of water, we want just a moist surface that stays wet for longer time for the wet on wet technique. I begin by painting the right side of the paper with a muted green created by mixing olive green with a touch of indigo. As I move towards the left, I gradually increase the amount of indigo in the mix. When working near the background flowers, I use less water in the pigment to prevent it from spreading too much and covering the entire flower. Using less water in the pigment helps to control the pigment's movement, creating a soft blurred effect for the background flowers. This is the key idea here. If the pigment spreads too much into the sketch area, don't worry, we can fix it after completing the background. When applying the pigment, it's best to let each brushstroke work its magic. Instead of going over the same area repeatedly like we might do with a crayon, a single intentional brushstroke is enough with watercolor. This keeps the painting soft, spontaneous, and fresh, allowing the watercolor to flow beautifully and naturally, resulting in a lively, expressive painting rather than one that feels overworked. I try to keep this in my mind every time I paint because at times I also find myself overworking certain areas. I recommend using a large mop brush for bold strokes so that you don't end up painting over the same area repeatedly. If you use a small round brush, it won't cover a large area efficiently, and you may find yourself going over the same spot multiple times. This can cause the paper to start drying before you finish the background, making it difficult to achieve the desired effect. Using a large mop brush makes the process easier and smoother while helping to maintain the softness of the painting. Since we haven't wetted the flower in the foreground, you can see that it retains a crisp outline. I'm using the tip of the brush to carefully define its edges. On the right side of the background, you can notice a blue shade. That's because I used a mix of Prussian blue with olive green to paint that area. I added this slight variation instinctively to create interest in the background tones. if you experiment with a combination of olive green with indigo and Prussian blue, you will see how beautifully they blend to create a rich and harmonious background. After painting the background while the paper is still wet, I use the lifting technique to remove excess pigment from areas where it has spread too much into the flower space. To do this, I take a clean damp brush, first rinsing it in water and then gently pressing it on a cloth to remove excess moisture. Then I lift the pigment from the areas where it has bled into the flower, helping to restore the clarity of the shape of the flower. While the paper is still wet, I add yellow ochre to all the background flowers to paint their pollens. Then I splatter some clean water onto the wet background to create an interesting texture. After that, I let the paper to dry completely. There is just one final step left to complete this painting, that is adding a few details to the foreground flower. We have to paint the shadow areas and add pollens for this flower. To determine where the shadows should go, we will use the reference picture. For painting the shadows, I'm using a light value of indigo. After adding the shadows to the flower, I next wet the inner area, that is the middle part of the flower, to add pollens using the wet on wet technique. I use yellow ochre in a thick consistency for this. Next, I use the mix of olive green with a touch of indigo to paint the stem of the foreground flower. Using the same mix but in a lighter value, I paint the stems of the background flowers. With that, we have completed this beautiful wildflower scene using watercolor. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more watercolor painting content. See you in another video. Until then, take care and bye bye from Prema.